physical body is not a single substantial entity, but a combination of many elements, pulsations of matter connected together in lines of transmission, becoming manifest at the material level. The mind also is not a single persisting ego entity enduring through time. The mind is a series, a connected series of mental acts made up of the four aggregates, the four mental aggregates: feelings, perceptions, the mental formations, and consciousness. These mental acts or thought moments are called in Pali chittas. Each chitta is an individual act of mind, an act of consciousness, involving the factors of feeling, perception, the mental formations, and consciousness. Each chitta arises, persists for a very brief moment performing its function, experiencing the object. Then immediately after that, it breaks up and passes away. When it breaks up and passes away, it doesn't leave any trace of itself behind. It doesn't have any core or any inner essence that remains. But as soon as the chitta breaks up and disintegrates, immediately, right afterwards, there arises another chitta, another act of mind, which again flashes into existence, experiences its object with awareness, and then passes away. And so it goes on, chitta after chitta after chitta. And thus we find the mind is a succession of chittas, of mental acts, of these momentary acts of consciousness. Now when each chitta falls away, it transmits to its successor whatever impressions have been recorded upon itself, whatever experiences it has undergone, its perception, its emotions, its volitional force. All of these get passed on to the next chitta, and thus all the experiences we undergo, every fleeting thought, sensation, decision, and so on, leaves its imprint on the onward flow of consciousness, on the chitta santana, the continuum of mind. And this transmission of influence, this causal continuity, this gives us our continued identity. We remain the same person or being through the whole lifetime because of this continuity, even though there is no ego entity, no self standing underneath the process. Now the physical organism, the body, and the mental continuum, the stream of chittas, occur in close interconnection. The body provides the physical basis for the succession of chittas, the flow of the mental process. And the mental process rests upon the body as its instrument and basis. But when death comes, the physical body can no longer function as the physical support for consciousness. It can no longer support the chittas, the process of mind. But when the body breaks up at death, the succession of chittas doesn't draw to an end. In the mind of the dying person, there takes place one final thought moment called the death consciousness. This last chitta, this last thought moment, signals the complete end of the life. Then following the death consciousness, there occurs another chitta, another act of mind, the first chitta of the new life. And this chitta springs up with a new physical organism as its basis, a newly fertilized ovum. This first chitta of the new life continues the stream of consciousness which has just passed out of the old deceased body. The stream of consciousness is not a single entity but a process. And the process continues. The death consciousness in the series is followed by a new moment of consciousness, which arises with the new physical organism as its basis. This first act of consciousness is called the patisandhicitta. We mentioned this last time. The relinking consciousness. And it's called the relinking consciousness because it links together the two separate life terms. It belongs to the same continuum. The relinking consciousness inherits all the impressions of past experience undergone in that current of consciousness in the previous life, and also in the many lives before that. In this way, all the impressions recorded and stored up in the mental continuum, in that individual stream of experience, all of these now get transmitted to the first citta of the new life. This first citta, when it passes away, passes the storage of experience on to the second moment, along with its own additions. The second passes it on to the third to the fourth, and so on from thought moment to thought moment, citta to citta, all the ways from birth to death. Then, when that life comes to an end, again the stream of cittas will pass on to the next life. And when it passes on, it carries the storage of impressions along with it. And so the entire process will be repeated once more. We can give an illustration how this preservation of identity can take place without any self-identical entity. Suppose we have a candle burning, say, at 8 o'clock. If we come back in an hour at 9 o'clock, we see that the candle is still burning, and we can say that it's still the same candle. And this statement is completely valid from the standpoint of conventional linguistic usage. But if we examine this matter close up, we'll see that at every moment the candle is burning up different particles of wax. Every moment it's burning a different section of the wick. Every moment it's consuming different molecules of air, of oxygen. And thus the wax, the wick, and the oxygen being burned are always different from moment to moment. And yet, because the moments of flame link together in a continuum,